Tone, right before
Oké, goedemiddag.
goedemiddag, right before we started recording this, let me turn my lights on so you people can see me. There we are. Um, Came up with the perfect title for this episode, The Resilience of the Human Body. I love it.
Yeah, well,
I freaking love it. We're going to talk about what you should do to take care of yourself no matter what age you are. We're not medical professionals. We're not doctors, although perhaps we have played them on TV or on stage. So
yeah,
anything that we say is really purely for entertainment purposes and things that we've discovered are on our own health journeys. For you, applications may be different. Always do the research. All right. Now, disclaimer out of the way.
right.
The reason
Uh,
why I want to touch on this is because you know the human body in many ways, as you said, is resilient. As we get older,
yeah,
we seem to notice more creaks and cracks and snaps and groans. I mean, even when we just
yes,
wake up and move in bed. Have you noticed that?
I do. Yeah, of course I do. And the thing is that I thought about it because you mentioned it a couple of days ago. Because of course me being hit with the freaking coronavirus again for the fifth time. Thank you very much. Had all my shots. So that's not something I'm going to do again because I don't know. But I no, I'm not going to do it again. So I got sick anytime. So anytime I got the shot, I got sick. So, um, but on the other hand, people, you can argue that maybe I gotten it more severe if I wouldn't have taken the shot. So, but
So
I guess you will never know. Well, now I didn't get the shot, and I got sick, and I got really sick for like 5 days. And after that, I recovered pretty quickly, but I'm still a little tired. So,
you
yeah,
looked, the photo you sent to me the first 24 hours you were sick. You, I'm not saying this lightly. You looked like you were at death's door, just
oh
with the
my
breather
God,
apparatus on and the pallor of your skin. It was.
yeah,
And going back to that other point, you know, you got the shot and you got sick. Uh, the very first time I got a flu shot, I got sick. And I erroneously blamed it on the shot. And I was talking to a friend who's a doctor, and she told me,
mm,
you know, the vaccine that they come up with, the shot that they come up with for that particular season is based on the most prevalent strain of flu. She goes, your challenge, and this is when I was still at Disney, is you're meeting and interacting with people from all over the country and all over the world. So they brought another special strain with them. And for
yeah.
you at Center Parks, it is the exact
Exactly
same
the
thing.
same story. Yeah, thinking about that as well because I meet up with a lot of people and I talk to a lot of people during the day, every day, for the whole week, every month, every year. Like
Yes.
the whole year through, and that's probably the cause of me getting it more often than everybody else. Yeah, it's probably that. Well, on the other hand, Yvonne also meets up with a lot of people who come in contact with a lot of people uh, on their turn. Um, so, but she didn't get it for, yeah, like only once. And she never had any shots as well. So,
But
but this,
there's a little difference between you and Ivana. Ivana meets people from the area, from the province, mostly. Yeah.
that's it.
You
That's it.
meet people from
Yeah.
all over the continent.
Yeah, all over the world, basically. They come from Israel, Russia, everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Russia, not that much lately, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, they come from all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, Americans, Canadians, you name it. Italy, Spain, the Balkans, everywhere. Yeah. So yeah,
It,
yeah.
you know,
Middle East.
it's a, it's a deeply fascinating thing. hey, you've got a family that goes on holiday and their little one has a cold, and that cold will run through their system in 36 to 48 hours and then they're fine. But
Yeah.
because our body is not used to that virus, you know,
And they,
it's like cancer. There are different kinds of cancer, you know, lung cancer, bone cancer, and each one has to be treated differently. And with a cold, it's the same thing. The cold that I get
yeah,
could knock you out for several weeks. The cold that you get
right,
could knock me out for a month and a half.
right. You never know the difference. Yeah, you
Huh.
never know the difference.
So
It's never, yeah, that's true.
probably,
That's a,
you know, a good thing, a good place to start, and this is a thing that we're always telling our kids is wash your hands often and don't touch your hands to your face. Because,
yeah.
you know, I was telling this story yesterday. When I was at Disney, when I started there in attraction operations, I would be in four positions. I'd be in greeter, I'd be a little further up, I'd be the spieler, and then I would be on the sound stages, and then I'd go to break. Now I only ever
Mm,
touched the handrails that people touched, but when I went to wash my hands, the dirt that came off my hands looked like I'd been gardening, and all I touched
right.
was metal
That's true.
handrails. So
Yeah,
when we're touching handrails and doorknobs and walls and doors and windows, and then we touch our hands to our face, we're
exactly.
transferring we're transferring the viruses and bacteria right there to this really hospitable opening. It's warm, it's moist, it's a place,
Cozy.
come live here for a while.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. On the other end, you might argue that if you never touch your face or be extra careful, you may not build up any resistance for viruses and stuff like that. Yeah, you have your nose and it's you have the mucus that
You're spot on. You're spot
yeah.
on.
Also, yeah. So
Addison's
there's
Addison's teacher, when she was in kindergarten, told us she had two children. One went through kindergarten in the first into first. The other didn't go through pre-K or kindergarten, just went straight to first. And goes the son that didn't go was sick the whole first year because hadn't built the immune system up.
right.
The other one,
Yeah, it's very possible.
and I agree, we are building our immune system up, but I think especially as we get older, uh, we have to do it
Mm,
on our terms and not on the terms of the virus because the virus doesn't care. The virus doesn't care on how old you are. It doesn't care about your political or religious beliefs. It doesn't care where you,
no,
and it doesn't care what you have to do.
no, not at all.
It's
Not at all.
I started, you'll appreciate this. I started vocal lessons for an audition I have coming up next month, and it's been decades since I had a vocal lesson, and I'm real lucky because the gentleman I'm working with used to perform with the Voices of Liberty over in Epcot at the American Adventure, and he did
Mm.
two tours of the musical that I'm auditioning for as the piano composer. So
Oh,
he absolutely is the ideal individual to train me. And after I was done, and this was just an hour and 15-minute practice, I felt like a truck had hit me. I got home and I barely got out of my clothes. I crawled into bed and I woke up in the morning with my dog spooned up next to me. I haven't slept that well since I was under anesthesia. And you can appreciate it because you're you're professionally trained. You have performed and you have used your voice for decades on stage. Me, my
right.
background is Shakespeare and jumping off a building. So completely
Mm.
different set of muscles. And the point I'm making is as we get older, even if it gets harder, we still have to do these things. Maybe you can't run 10 miles a day, but you could swim, you could bike, and you can walk.
Mm.
Any of those activities are beneficial for the body. And sitting at home doing nothing is dangerous because your body gets used to it. The muscles and ligaments they lose that elasticity. We get older, we
Yeah,
find it harder to move.
that's exactly what it is. People people tend to say, "Well, I'm getting older, having a little bit of pain here and there," and no, yeah, I know how it is. You're getting older and stuff, but that's a completely destructive way of thinking because if you're getting older, it's more important to move around because, uh, but that's my opinion, of course. I'm not a physician, as you just said. Of course, I'm not. We both are not. But I I came to the conclusion that the more older you get, the more important it is to keep moving, and the more you move and exercise, the less pains you endure. Yes, of course, and everybody has terminal dates for everybody, of course, to put it like that. But still, as long as you're alive, you have to work harder every year when you get older to keep to to lead a comfortable lifestyle. Because if you stop moving, it will get harder to live, to do things, to just be. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Because
You
yeah,
change.
everything you took for
I'm nodding,
granted.
but you change your level of engagement when you reduce your level of engagement, and it
Yeah.
it's like the flexibility of doing the splits. Great example. You work towards the splits, you do the stretches, you do the body training so your muscles know this is what's expected of you, and then eventually you drop into a straddle split or a Russian split. But if you don't do
Mm,
it, if you don't continue to stretch those muscles and ligaments and warm them
mm,
up, you can't drop back into it even a year
yeah.
later, let alone a decades later. So
Yeah.
I get it. As you were talking, I was thinking about when I came with you last time I was there at Center Parks, you're constantly on the move. And some of that's intentional because if you wanted to, you could find plenty of opportunities to sit down. But I found it remarkable that my friend, the moment he showed up, he's on the go.
Mm,
You didn't stop until the end of the evening when you would take a break with your mates, maybe to have a coffee or a beer, and then
yeah.
but
Exactly.
on the go.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm a little bit lucky that I have that job because it keeps me moving. I don't have any choice. I have to. So that's okay. And I notice when I'm having a couple of days off, like a week off or something, and okay, I'll take it easy for a week, and I start feeling more tired than I would be after going after a regular week of work. It's really strange, but it is. And
I think that makes sense
so
because your body is used to
yeah,
things.
yeah, just keep moving. It's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. It's always nice to be a little bit of lazy every once in a while, but not for a long time. Because if you stop moving, you start dying.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. How many times do you hear that? People who go into retirement, and you go like, "Did you hear about Sam? Yeah. What about him? Yeah, he fucking died, man. He's like a year in his pension, in his retirement. He just died. Yeah. Why do you think it's that? Because he didn't move anymore. He didn't do jack shit. Your body goes like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, bye. It doesn't work anymore. You have to keep moving. Of
I
course, you don't live forever, but
Well, no, but
Can
you
do a lot.
there are things, I'm reading several books, and one of them is called The Longevity Paradox, and it's not an endorsement. It's a good book, but it talks
Mm,
about what we eat and what we should eat, and it talks about how because of the marketing, which is so blatant here in the United States, we are told what we should eat because there are clever slogans like beef, it's what's good for you, or milk, it does a body.
right.
When neither one of those things, I mean, in extreme moderation,
Yeah.
maybe beef is okay, but milk, I feel we can talk for hours about that. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
when you think about that, you and Ivana eat. You've made much healthier lifestyle choices when it comes to what you eat, and all of
Mm,
that. You not only it not only shows it's reflected in how you feel. When I stopped eating meat, I found not only did I lose weight, and this is without changing anything I did, I found I had more energy.
mm,
And when you are active and when you do things to stay active, when I was doing KSM, King Solomon's Mines, because we were doing so many shows a day and it was so demanding, and we're going up and down the stairs and just running around that stage, I would eat big bowls of pasta between shows, and I couldn't put weight on because I'd burned it all up. But as we get older, our metabolism wants to
mm.
slow
Yep.
down, and it's up to us to stay active. And
Yeah.
as you get older, maybe you're not going to go to the gym and lift for a couple hours. That's fine, but
Mm,
there's still morning stretching exercises. There's yoga.
yeah.
There's meditation. There's a host of things that you can do that
Mm,
truly does your body good.
right. I'm not the best in that regard. I do admit. So, but there are a lot of other things you can do, like grab a bike, or ins- instead of going into your car or whatever, or take a walk, or if yeah, well, maybe in America it's harder, but for here, it's easy to get your bike and take a bike to a friend of yours. Just you don't have to go by car or anything, or just take a walk around the neighborhood. Just do if you do it every day,
Yes.
you'll be fine.
We
I'm
we can
sure.
we can do that here. It's just that
Mm,
Americans tend to be more lazy.
yeah.
Unless
Well, is it?
you're compelled to do the work, like if you live on a farm or
Yeah.
something, or your job calls for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And as a matter of fact, last weekend I went to Zandvoort circuit.
Yeah.
I went to the Formula One race. And tell me, you have to walk through the dune area. It's nearby the coast, so it's coastal area. If dunes, it's like walking up and down and up and
Yes.
down. And if like in Zandvoort, the place that I went to, it's a small circuit, but it's how much is it? It's almost 4 kilometers. How much is that? Around 3 miles or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That four
Yeah,
kilometers, about 1 and 3/4 miles to
one and
two.
three quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Well,
But
five
yeah,
kilometers,
yeah,
5 kilometers is 3 miles.
yeah. Well, anyway, but if you have to, you enter at one point at the circus,
Hmm.
circuit, and
Circuit.
if you want to go to the point where you'll be sitting, you have to walk all the way around the fucking circuit. So, and I'm 56 almost, and I did it. And everybody else is complaining just as hard as I do, but
Yeah.
I'm going to do it because I don't. Now I have muscle pain. I'm still tired, but you have to challenge your body every once in a while
You
to
do.
do
You
stuff like
do.
that.
And
If
it
you go like, oh, I'm not going, get too old for that shit. Fuck
well,
it.
and you
Don't do it.
know
Just do
what?
it.
It
Just do it.
The body wants that activity and exercise, and it rewards you
Yeah.
by pumping more blood through your body and giving you
Yeah.
energy and making you
Yeah.
feel more fit. So that's how you feed
Yeah.
your body, is by doing that activity. I think maybe I mentioned this to you. I used to wear this wrist monitor, this Fitbit, when I went
Right.
to Epcot as a leader, and the day I decided not to wear it anymore was the day that I walked over the equivalent of a half marathon. One
Ah,
day as
yeah.
a leader walking World Showcase and walking the Future World area, just all of that walking. I saw that and
Yeah.
went, okay, I thought I was walking a lot and
Yeah.
think I think all of that, yeah, all of that that we're mentioning, walking, any kind of activity. If you can't walk, there are things you
Yeah.
can do in your chair, on the couch. You just
Right.
have to be willing to take the initiative because if you don't, your body rewards you with more pain.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yes. But yeah, you have to do it. If you don't, you go, you're gone. Just move.
And you're very active anyway. We can't exclude gardening activity. We can't exclude the
Mm,
work that involves standing up and bending down and digging out pots or planting things and trimming and pruning and reaching over to check the fish, doing the measurements for the tea house you're building.
mm.
I built Neds by myself. And that was hundreds of feet of bamboo and 2x4s and 4x4s that I was cutting and moving and bolting and drilling and nailing.
That was quite an achievement.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't stress that enough. That was awesome. And there are not a lot of people our age who are willing to take take such an endeavor because it is. But
Put us,
it keeps you young. It keeps you
yes.
going, and yeah, it's great. Can't wait to see it.
Well, I agree,
As a
and
matter of fact, I'm going to make a drawing this afternoon about for my tea house
yes,
for yeah.
yeah, please do it.
And
Even the tea house, you're not. It's like everything else in your garden. Your
right,
sauna, hot tub, the pond, everything is so intentional that for lack of a better way of describing it, you're not going to build the tea house half-assed. It's
yeah,
got to be exactly the way it must be,
yeah,
the aesthetic
yeah,
that you demand. And when I
right,
talk about that, just people so you know, like I've mentioned before in other episodes, when I asked for a little bit of help with my garden, when I had built this architectural garden at another place where I had a house, Tone had an idea to just improve a
yeah,
couple of things, which wound up
yeah,
causing us to redo a third of the garden footprint. But the end result was much better than anything that I could have imagined because
yeah,
that's Tone's wheelhouse and that desire is a thing that infected me the same way. You're
yeah.
real
But
on details.
but it's also the thing is good, and I'm also convinced, although I'm not a doctor, because the thing was going on in your brain, all these chemicals, these
Yes.
endorphins, and all these other. If you tease your brains with stuff like that, you try to come up with stuff, and it can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be with gardening or anything. But if you keep teasing your brain because it's an integral part of your body. Because people talk, and we all do it. It's like my body, but that's not correct because it's your brain is also an integral part of your body. So if you're talking about your body, you're talking about your brain as well. So if you keep your brain active, it also results in body health and vice versa, of course. So what you just said is very relevant and a very important thing. So whatever you do, you have to be very aware of what you're doing up here also benefits your brain, your body. Your body, see, here I go again. I say it, but that's the way we speak about ourselves. But our body and our mind are one integral part. So if you're
Yes.
talking about your body, you're talking about your brain as well.
Yeah, I
Okay.
frequently and I'll remind Addison of this, but I frequently will tell people energy doesn't know what to do
Uh,
until we assign
yeah,
it value. Energy doesn't know whether to be positive or negative until we give it direction. And with our brain, like you said, the brain, the human brain and mind isn't a balloon. The ability to continue to expand on thought and to continue to learn and grow, just it expands our
yeah,
ability to
yeah,
and it's all different directions. It's not going to burst,
right.
it's not going to pop. We're not going to some days we feel like I've
No,
learned as much as I can learn and I think I'm full.
right.
But I think that even as we get older, we have to continue to do that. Uh, you know, my my grandmother, God bless her soul, she she lived she enjoyed a beautiful life on earth and right up to her last day. Uh,
Mm,
she was doing crossword puzzles and word scrabbles, constantly working on
very important.
her
Yeah,
brain,
that's
constantly,
very,
even
yeah.
as she didn't have the agility she had of decades prior, she still made sure her
Mm.
mind, and it was as sharp as ever.
And that's the most important thing you can do. You keep your brain going because that will keep your body going. I think that's my opinion at least. So
It's
yeah.
it's where you start, and I think for everyone out
Mm,
there, you don't have to start by running a marathon.
mm,
You can start by
no,
walking. And I have a very dear friend, Brandon, is training for a marathon. And
right.
it's many mornings he'll share with me, I think I've lost my mind because this is ridiculous. Running
Yeah.
outside in the summer in the South,
Are you
it
crazy?
yes, it
Yeah, of
takes
course. Well,
a,
why not?
takes a special kind of mental deficiency to do that. And
Yeah.
his words, not mine. But
Yeah.
start start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start with a crossword puzzle, start with a Scrabble, maybe take up crocheting, go out and walk. If you live in a community that has a community pool, go for a little swim. Because even if you're just in the
Yeah.
moving
Go
around,
with evidence. Yeah.
you're dealing
Yeah.
with resistance in the water.
Right.
If you've got a pool, you should be using it. If you've got a bike, you should be using it.
Right.
Just get
There's
out
some,
there, get
so,
out there and get
so,
active.
something else that occurs to me now is that I learned a lesson a long time ago and it didn't occur to me back then, but now it does. Now I realized that it was a lesson for me as well. You remember when you said to me that, hey, do you think I can get married in the Netherlands? That I said, well, why not? You remember that?
Yes,
And that's exactly the question that keeps you alive. Because if you want to do something, why not?
bottom neat.
Instead of thinking, well, nah, I'm too old, or I can't do that because I don't have the physical strength. Well, make sure you get the physical strength, or why not try it? You have nothing to lose. So
Listen,
to read that, hey,
I
come
gotta
on,
I gotta tell you,
that's it.
this is my personal opinion, so I'm not imposing this on
Yeah,
anyone else. But to me, the word can't and the word
yeah,
diet,
I can't.
the word
Yeah,
diet has the word die with a cross at the end of it, and the word can't is the word can with a cross at the end of it. And as far as I'm concerned, the cross is death. So
yeah,
stick with the can, stick
right.
with what you can do, and then surprise
Yeah,
yourself by pushing forward a little further. Because as you get older, if you're in your 20s and 30s listening to this or
right,
watching, you're thinking, man, 60, that's so far away. And then you hit 60 and go,
right.
holy crap. You look over your shoulder
Yeah,
and 20 was just a blink ago. So
yeah, exactly.
do what you must now, because if you must do it later,
Yeah,
it's going to be harder. Just
and
take care of yourself, people. Take care of
could
yourself.
be too late. It could
And
be too
and it's a thing we haven't mentioned.
late. Yeah, right.
How to take care of yourself, because the people
Yeah,
around you in your world who love you are counting
right,
on you to
right.
take care of yourself.
Very well said. Very well said. And now I became a bonsai enthusiast.
Yes, you
I
did.
never thought I would be doing this. Just the other day, I picked up one of my, I think it's the most beautiful specimen that I ever owned, and I saw it standing in a garden somewhere, and I went like, this tree, I want to have it because I think it's a beautiful tree. And I fixed it. I sent you a
Yes,
picture.
you did.
And
Yes,
if you Yeah, and if you go like, well, bonsai, yeah, I can't do that. Why not? Just try it. And I did, and I
you did.
made it work. I have a couple of beautiful specimens standing already. And I know the most beautiful specimens are old trees. So I thought to myself, I just look for old trees, just looking gardens of people or neglected gardens of stuff like
Yeah.
that. You see in the corner, you see a little shrub. You go like, oh, wait a minute, that's an old tree. Maybe I can ask these people to give them to me, or I'll will say, "Fun, can I adopt this tree because I really like it. I want to work with it. I want to give it a better life or something like that." And I did it two times already. The one over there in the corner, and this new one, and they turned out to be beautiful. I sent you a picture
You
already.
did. You
Check
did.
it
I'm
out.
going to share, and I'm going to share some of those photos as well. You know, we have another episode where I
Oh my
shared some
God.
photos you sent me, and I think
Mm,
that's a great place for us to wrap this
yeah.
episode because what you just said, it applies to the human body as well as to a tree. Doesn't matter how old you are, there's opportunity to improve. There's opportunity to make yourself better and healthier. It depends on you.
Everything that gets older is more interesting.
Yes. Yes.
I agree. For some strange reasons. Of course, we're not swinging in chandeliers anymore, but there's a lot of other beautiful stuff out there that you can enjoy. Ooh,
Yep. I agree. Ladies and
it's not
gentlemen, thank
it's
you.
not too bad to get older.
Thank you. No, no, just take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing with others because you're doing that, right? You love watching us and listening, so you're clicking like and subscribe and you're telling all your friends and family, these guys, boy, do they talk. And
What are they talking about?
yeah, we'll I can tell you we'll see you on the next episode, and we're delighted that
Yeah.
you joined us today. Everybody, please take care of yourself after you're done signing off from this episode. Go out and do something. And if you don't want to go outside because of the weather, do something in the house.
Do whatever you like. Do something.
Take care of your body. It'll take care of you. We'll see you on the next one.
And mind.
That's right. Later.
Later, vriend. Bye. I love you.
We love you too.
Doei.